Hi guys, I am Bhavya Bansal, a Flutter mentor at IOSD, and I welcome you to the one day build series. Today we will be building the WhatsApp tone application, and I'll be using Dart 2.1.1 and Flutter is on the stable channel. So let's just start. So first we will select the Flutter application. I am using the Android Studio, and here we have this simple option of choosing the project we want. So we will be starting the new Flutter project, a Flutter application, right? The next, and just name this application. The part to your SDK, Flutter SDK, the project location you can choose, and a little description about your application. So I will just write a WhatsApp application. You can write whatever you want, and just okay. Company name, you can enter your name. Let's just finish this. And while it creates the Flutter project, and I am using the iPhone, the iOS emulator, the export build, and you can choose your Android emulator, and yeah. Cool. Now, whenever you start a new project, this is a code you see every time, and we don't need this code, so I will just write it. And yeah. So first, let's just see how WhatsApp looks on your mobile. And this is the GIF that I've searched on Google. And in this you can see we have a title. We have a search icon, we have a more button list, and we have tabs here. 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs we have. The first tab is of the camera, the second is of the chats, the third is of the status, and the fourth is of the calls. And in the chats we have some list styles, you can see. So pretty good idea. You can think of the widgets that we will be using here. The first will be the app bar. And also, if you just see the app bar, normally in your WhatsApp UI, you will see that the app bar collapses every time you scroll through the chats or the status or anything. So, pretty good idea that we will not be using the standard app bar here. We will be using an app bar with some special features, and for that, I will just give you an instance that we will be using the sliver app bar. And for the tabs, we will be using the tab bar view, the tabs, and various widgets that will be used up for building the tabs. Okay. And for the list styles for the chats that you may see in the chat under the chats tab. So list style here, and yeah, that's it, I guess. So let's just build the first page of the WhatsApp. So I will just first import the basic libraries. So first is the material art. Okay, and also a void main function for the Flutter to run the application. So run app. The name of let's just name for it for now the my app, and and let's just create a class of this my app, which extends the stateless. Okay, so let's just create a build function that returns a widget. So we will be returning a material app, and in its home we will return a scaffold. and scaffold has a name parameter of app bar, but since we will not be using the standard app bar here, we will use the sliver app bar. So we will add the sliver app bar in the body of the scaffold. So also you can see we are scrolling in the nest, or you can say under a app bar. So it provides, so we need a widget that allow us to scroll under a already widget. So here I will use a nested scroll view. Yeah. So nested scroll view. One more thing, if you want, if you have not set up your Flutter or any ID or anything, if you want to just set up your Flutter system on your local machine, you can just watch our previous videos on this on the IOSD channel. So yeah, once you have done that, you can just continue with this video. And okay, so continuing the nested scroll view. In this we have name parameter of sliver builder, header sliver builder. In this we return generally we have two parameters to be passed. One is the build context. So I will just write it, build context, and then next is the bool variable. So you can name it anything. I am just naming it inner box is you can just name it anything. It's just it's up to your choice. And here we will just return the sliver app bar. So return a widget, and this will have a sliver app bar. Cool. Okay. So now in this sliver app bar we can just give it a background color. So here you can see we have a darkish green color at the app bar of WhatsApp. So I have just opened this website. This provides me the WhatsApp, the colors that the WhatsApp has. So you can see it is matching. It's pretty good matching with the top color that it is providing. So I'll just copy the hex code and use it here, color. And the prefix that we need to add before adding the hex code is the 0 cross ff, and then pasting the code. And here you can see the color that we will be having here. And now let's just add a title, which is of course WhatsApp. So it takes a widget and now we have the title, and we have to okay, so one more thing, now we need to add these tab bar as well. You can see we have a camera, chat, status and calls. So for that these are at the bottom, so we will add them at the bottom. And in the bottom of this we will just call the tab. So as you can see, we have a name parameter of tabs here, and it takes a list of it takes number of tabs or the value of tabs that you want to add. So I will just write tab. It takes tabs, and in this first tab, so giving it a tab widget first. So we will just it has a name parameter of child, and here we can just add an icon. So icon, then icons dot camera. and we have as you can see, we have lot of options of camera here, as to which we want just this camera icon. So for that we will just find the let's just try this photo camera. Cool. And okay, so our first tab contains the camera icon. The next tab we want just it to show the chats, right? So it has a name parameter of text, yeah, and we can just pass the string that we want to show on the screen. So we will just write chats. Okay. I am just speeding up the process by copy pasting the tabs. Now we have chats. Now the next tab is the status. So status, and the last tab is of pause. Okay. Now we have all the tabs and we want to show. Now since our tab bar is ready, now we need to show the underneath what the tab contains. So we have the tab bar, and this tab bar has a also has okay. So the nested scroll view is almost ready. Now we just need to define a body. So in the body of the nested scroll view, and one second here, yeah, okay, the error is not right. So we have a body parameter here, body name parameter. So, yeah. So in this body, whatever the tab is selected, we want to show the corresponding screen of the tab. So in the body, we will just define a tab bar view. Yeah. So this shows the content we want to show on the screen, but whenever a particular tab is selected. So also it works in a you can say so it works in a serial wise order. The order, it depends upon the tab listing you have mentioned. So here you can see the first is of the camera, the second is of the chat, and the third is of the status, and fourth is of calls. So first it takes children. So the tab bar view has a name parameter children, where the first widget that we want to show is of camera. So for now I am just returning a widget text just to check if that returns properly or not. And next is of the calls or chats. Third is status, and fourth is calls. So now whenever the first tab is selected, that is of the camera, it returns a tab bar, it returns a body, or it returns a view that shows the text, that returns a widget which is text, and it shows the text camera, and correspondingly for the chats, for the status, and for the calls. Okay. So now our app bar is pretty much ready, and we need one more thing. We have just defined various scrolling, you can say scrolling widgets here, and it is better to provide a controller to every scrollable thing you use in your application. So we will define some controllers as well. So for the tabs, we will define a tab controller, and let's just first define this. Okay. We are just declaring here, and one is for the scrolling. So scroll. Okay. So now we have just defined two controllers there, one for the tab, one for the scroll, and we will just give them their value in the init function of the same class. So we have two controllers there, and for defining the init function, we just need to make it a stateful widget. Let me quickly just define it this in whole a stateful widget. So class my state extends state. क्योंकि अब हमने स्टेटलेस यूज़ किया था, तो उस वजह से हम इनिट फंक्शन को डिफाइन नहीं कर पा रहे थे, पर अब हमने स्टेट डाल दिए है तो उससे इनिट फंक्शन डिफाइन हो जाएगा। तो यहाँ पे हम माई ऐप को एक्सटेंड कर रहे हैं, एंड हम माई ऐप में इस स्टेट को क्रिएट कर देते हैं। तो माई ऐप स्टेट क्रिएट state and we should return the state of the my app. Cool. Now we have our controllers, we have defined the stateful widget, and we just need to define these controllers, so we will use the So in this init state, we will just define our controllers. So tab controller, which I will have a value of a tab controller, and the length of this controller, or you can say the length of the number of tabs we want to show on the screen. So here we want 4 tabs, right? So we will just give this a value of 4, and vsync is just the animation we want to show on the screen while scrolling across the tab. I am using this keyword, but it is not showing anything, it is showing an error. So I will just tell you why, and to remove this error we will just extend this state with single ticker with state mixing, provide a state mixing. Now the error is gone. So this is because while we want to show some animation across the tabs while scrolling across the tabs, the single ticker provider of state mixing gives us this freedom of defining a ticker object, and we are passing this keyword in the vsync so that we can tell the tab controller to use the single ticker provided state mixing while scrolling across the tabs. So with this, now just define the scroll controller here as well. So new scroll controller, and we don't need to pass any parameter in this, and now our parameters are defined as well. We need to just use them. So first we will use the scroll controller in the nested scroll view. So in the controller just pass the scroll controller, एंड हम सेम बिल्कुल इसका टैब व्यू बार में भी कर देते हैं, तो उसमें भी कंट्रोलर है और इसमें भी टैब कंट्रोलर जाएगा, एंड एक आखिरी टैब बार में, सो कंट्रोलर एंड टैब बार. I think we are done this far pretty good, and let's just run our code in the emulator and see what happens. So as I have told you, I am using the iPhone XR simulator, and Flutter is on the stable channel. The Dart version that I am using is the 2.1.1, and yeah, if you want to add icon to your application, WhatsApp clone application, you can do so as well. I will show you that also. Let's just first see the basic UI that we have built till now, and we have not yet built anything under the tabs that looks like this. We are just returning the text, that corresponding text the tab is selected, and yeah. it is now syncing some files to the iPhone. Yes, you can see we have a pretty good UI till now. Some things need to be sorted. And first I can see the title is here aligned to the left, while here we have the center. So this is because the sliver app bar also has a name parameter of center title, which we need to false. So by doing this, you can see our WhatsApp is now shifted to the left, aligned to the left. And let's just remove this debug banner as well. One second, sorry. In the material app we use the debug show check mode, and so also passing the value false here, and we just remove the banner as well, right? And you can see now when we scroll through the app bar, it just collapses, but it is not exactly what we want. We want the tabs to remain fixed and just the app bar above it to be scrolled. So okay, for that sliver app bar has a name parameter of pinned, which we also need to we need to make it true, and one more is the floating, which will also need to be true. Okay, now again reloading again, and you can see the tabs are fixed and our app bar is collapsing as we wanted. So pretty much WhatsApp UI here. Also the indicator here, if you can check your WhatsApp right now, we have an indicator of color white and a pretty good thickness here. So for that, in the tab bar we have this indicator. Wait, let's just make it to like 5, and also we have a color indicator color. Let's just color it to 2. Now again reloading. Yes, pretty much accurate indicator here we have. So now we can scroll across the tabs, we can collapse our app bar while scrolling vertically, and our title looks great. Now we need to add the search icon and the more button here. So for that, in the sliver app bar itself, we have an option of action. We have the name parameter of action, in which we can pass widgets that we want to show. You can say training to the app bar, init app bar, right? So in the action, the first thing we want to show is the search icon. So we will just need an icon which will have a search icon, and next to it we want the more button. So it is quite specific, more button icon. So in the icons I will just show you what to use, and just type more and vert. So it will give a more button icon which is vertical in shape, in orientation. So 2 icons are ready. Now reloading again, and yes, we have those icons here as well. So you can see they are pretty much not you can say aligned like the photo we have here. So for that, a little trick that I use is adding container with some width to align. You can use any other method but for now I will just use this. It is quite time saving. You can just use your imagination. There are a lot of experiments you can do with your app. There are a lot of ways you can build your app, and I'm just showing you the way that I have built it. Okay, so you can see a little more gap, but yeah, we can just change the value here and we can get the pretty much orientation we want, the alignment we want. Okay, so now the WhatsApp title is not in the center, it is aligned to the left. The icons here are on the right side of the app bar, the trailing side, and we have 4 tabs here that looks pretty much similar to the WhatsApp we use, and they are returning the view that we want, the widgets that we have written here in the tab bar view in the respective order. Okay, so now let's just start first building our chat section. So here the text widget is we don't need now the chat section. So let's just start building the chat section. So currently we are returning a widget text here, so we don't need it now. We just let's just name this class as chats, and we will just define this under this class only. So yeah, so class chats extends state. So now I will be using stateful widgets everywhere, because for later development or for the further development of this WhatsApp clone, we need to take down. So I will be using the stateful widgets everywhere, because for additional functionality of this application, we need to note the state of the current widget and change accordingly. So I'm using the stateful widget here. So chats state, which is create state chats state. Cool. Now the chat state here. Extends state. Okay, so let's just return a simple widget here. Build context, and now let's just see what it looks like in the chats. Right, so we have a list which contains some list styles, and we have the icon, we have the photo of the sender here, and the name and the message and the timestamp. Okay, so let's just build how this UI looks like. So as you can see here, we have the chat section containing the photo. One second, let's just wait. Okay. So you can see here this chat section is here, and here is the photo of the sender, the name, the text, the timestamp, right? So let's just make a similar UI here. So for that we will just return a list view. Okay, and on a second note, I thought of a better solution. So let's just return a list view builder. So what this list view builder will do, we will just feed this list view builder data, and it will build the corresponding you can say the widget that we will return here. So it has an item builder, so it takes 2 parameters, context and the index. Cool. And here we can return any widget that we want to return, and also it takes an parameter, name parameter of item count, the number of widgets that we want to return here. So for now, let's just keep it here and create some fake data, so that we can build our UI and see how it looks. So let's just create a list. So So here's our list, which will contain the string, and let's just name this as a name. Names of our name of the sender. Here you can name them Rahul, Shyam, Bhavya. Yeah, let's just keep it 3, and also create a list of you can say, let's just create a list of icons, right? So that we icons, or you can say one thing, images. Oh, let's just see for that later. Okay, so now we have a list of names here, and yeah, let's just create a list of the messages that we will get from from them. So it will also be a string type. The text, which is, let's just first sender say hello to you, and sender next will say kaisa hai, and the last one right something. Okay, so we have the text that you will get from these senders. Okay, now we will just feed this data to our list view builder and let it create some list types. So here in the item builder, and also the item count, we can predefine the item count to 3, 4, anything, but a good practice is defining the item count on the list that it is getting data from. So the length of the name list is the item count here, which is 3. Cool. So the item builder will return a list type. Cool. So in the list type you can see we have a photo in the starting. So to add a photo in the starting, we will use the leading name parameter. Then this leading name parameter we want in image, which is in the circular shape, right? So in the leading we will just use the circular avatar widget. In this circular avatar widget we have a name parameter of child, and in this child we can add our image. So we will just get our image from the network. So write anything so we will get our image from the internet. So you can search your any favorite movie actor or Hollywood actor or Bollywood actor or anything, So I will just use what is beaming in my mind, John Cena. So I will just get an image of John Cena, and let's just take this one, right? So I will just open it here and copy image address. Let's just see if the image address is working. Yeah, it is working fine. It is giving us the image of John Cena. Okay, so I will just use this image, and in the network we will just pass the string that we have just copied here. So this is a string of the image, and yeah, so now we have our image, right? Let's just see the next thing we want. So in the chats we have just seen we want the name of the person that is sending us the message. So in the title, let's just use the name list. So in the names we will just use the entry accordingly. Oh, sorry, my bad. It takes a widget, text widget specifically, and here we will just enter the name index. So index, if the builder is building the 0th widget, then the index will be 0, and it will call the value at the 0th index of the names list, that is Rahul. So Rahul is will be the name of the sender, and it will have a photo of John Cena, and let us take the message from Rahul from our text list, which here is which will also be indexed. So the same thing that I have told you will apply for the text list in the subtitle. Okay. So now we have the name of the center, we have the image, we have the subtitle, and also we want the timestamp. If you remember, we have seen. So for that you can use the trailing, and here we just need to add a time. So I will just for now add it manually. Let it be 10 AM. Cool. So basically I'm just building a similar UI right now. I am not adding any functionality to this. So you will just see the pretty much clone of WhatsApp, but it is just a you can say overlay or overview how the WhatsApp looks like. So now reloading. Okay, I've just got an error here. Again reloading. So you can see we have just the name of the sender, the text he sent us, the timestamp and the photo, right? So pretty much UI like the WhatsApp. And yeah, one more thing, you can see there is a thin line between every chat, so we can also add that. We will just use the divider widget. So in the list type, after the list type, yeah, one more thing, if we want to return a good layout, so we will just return a column which will have children as listed, and second thing, a divider. So it will just return a list style and a divider along with it. So divider, let's just see how this divider looks now. So reloading this, yeah, you can see the thin line between the chats you have got. So it is now looking pretty much good. So you can add various I will just for you just repeat this data again, so that we can just see how good this looks. Okay, cool. Now reloading this again, and it didn't work. Let's just restart this. Let's see the chat section. Yeah, now we have various chats you can see, and pretty much looking like the WhatsApp. And now we have built the chat section. Let's just finish it up by some more detailing. So as you can see, the image that we have used in the network is not quite looking good here. So let's just fix that. We have used the circle avatar for that, and we have just used a name parameter and pass the image network and the string URL here. So for that, for the perfect fitting of that image into the circular avatar, we use another, you can say name parameter. First, let's just copy the string. Wait a second. We just copied the string, removing this, and this circle avatar has a name parameter of background image, and in this we can just pass the network image widget, and in this we can pass the URL, and just setting up this URL quickly, and yeah, done. Okay, so cool. So now we have our so now we have our URL done. Okay, cool. Let's just run this in our emulator. Okay, so one error we got here. Yeah, just count. Okay, reloading this. I'm going to the chat. Okay, a little problem here. Let's just restart this application again in the emulator. sometimes the emulator fails to load the application quite efficiently. Okay, still a problem here. Let's just see what's that problem. Okay, so okay, so we have just called the same things in the chat section. Let's just okay, so we have completed the chat section, the basic UI how the chat section works, but we need to quickly make some finishes in the chat section. As you can see, the image that we have used as a network here is not quite fitting in this circle avatar. So for that we need to just look at our circle avatar, and as you can see, we have used the name parameter child and we have passed the widget the image network, but for better fitting we can just simply use a different name parameter. First let's just get this URL out, and this circle avatar has a different name parameter which is the background image, and in this we just pass our network image widget and pass the string to the image and pasting that basically, and okay, cool. I think this should do the work. Let's just reload our application, and you can see we have quite finished looking photo here. Oh, cool. So now basic chat section is done. Let's just go to the status section, and let's just see how the status UI looks. Okay, so this is a chat section that we have just done, and in this GIF you can see most of the things are done. You can just change the text color here. It is quite simple, so you can do it by yourself. I believe in you. And let's just quickly build the status section. So in this you can see you have the image, you have my status, and you have the status of your friends and family here. So let's just build this first. So okay, so quickly let's just create a class here beneath the status class. Let's just name this class as status, which extends to stateful widget. Oops, stateful widget, and just this, and let's just create status state, which creates a state. Sorry, status state like this. Then we will use a class status state, which extends state of status. Cool. And now it will return a widget. Nice. So here you can see my status is on the top, and underneath we have the status of our friends, right? So first we will create this. So this is all in the list view, so we will use the list view widget. And in the list view, first we have our you can say first the image, right? So this type. Sorry, my bad. First we will use the name parameter children. Then in this we will use the list child widgets. So list type here. And in this we have again the same leading circular avatar. Let's just copy this thing quickly to save some time. Again, I am just teaching you how you can quickly build a clone of WhatsApp, the UI clone, and we can add more functionality to this application. It will take a longer time to do that, and it is out of course of this video. So if you want to me to add more functionality and just show you how we can add more functionality to the application, you can just write me in the comments, and we will do another video in which I will cover the functionality in depth. Okay. Oh, cool. So now we have one list style that contains the circular avatar, and again then now it says my status as a title. So let's give it this a title which requires a text widget. In this, let's just type my status. Okay. Now we have the title. We have this title. We can have a subtitle there, which also takes a text. And what is that in the status? Okay, so you can just let's just write add status. Cool. Okay. Now let's just run this and look. Take a look how it goes. Okay. Oh, one more thing. We need to call this class here. So it is status. Right. And let's just upload this into our application. And you can see that. Okay. So tab to add status here. And this contains the timestamp when your friend have added their story and their name and their picture. Cool. We will build this, and also this button down here in every screen. Cool. Okay. So we are now building the status. Then we will be doing this call section, in which again we have the name, we have the picture, we have the timestamp, and these icons. Cool. Okay. So let's just till the time it builds, let's just create those particular. Let's just create the floating action button that I have been talking about. So we have a floating action button in the chat section, right? So let's just build that in the chat section. In the chat section, where is the chats? Here, there is our chat section, and okay, just return this field, right? Let's just cut and paste this, and return a container. And in this we can have our child as the list view builder. And let's just return a scaffold. So again, cut paste, we're moving this. Let's just add a scaffold. Body, and this as a container. And yep, all good I see. Nothing to worry. Now we can have a floating action button. So here it takes the floating action button status, let it be null right now. Let's just create a child, and in this we will use center widget to center icon, and in this we will pass the icon widget which is of icon dot. On the chat screen we have a message icon, so we will use a message icon. And the color, also the color of the floating action button is green, so background color, let's just colors dot. Okay, so we need to add a color, and you can see it is quite light in color, light green, so we will use this hash code. So copying this hash code and adding the prefix that I have talked about this, and yeah, you can see we have the light green color. So okay, so it is here. Yeah, you can see the change we have done here, the my status and add status thing. It is here. Now running this app again on the iPhone, and it is building. So what we can do more with it? We need to add the same floating action button in the status as well, right? So, and in the status, one second, sorry, in the status, in the messages, in the chats you can see we have the message icon, right? In the status, similarly we have the camera icon, and in the calls, I don't think so we have a floating action button in the calls. So we will just create a floating action button in the status, which is the camera. So again, adding the scaffold layer, just cutting this and scaffold, returning the scaffold, which have a body, sorry, this has a body, and pasting that and removing the errors that we don't want. Okay, seeing if there is any error. No, we don't have any error in this. Okay, and let's just see the chats floating action. Yeah, there you can see we have a floating action button of icon of the message, similarly to your WhatsApp. You can check on your mobile. And अब हम बिल्कुल सेम स्टेटस के लिए जो हमने करा, एक बार हम रीलोड कर लेते हैं एप्लीकेशन को, जो चेंजेस हमने करे, एंड स्टेटस में जाएगा. ओके, स्टेटस में अभी हमने कुछ डाला नहीं, सॉरी. तो स्टेटस में स्केफोल्ड आ गया हमारे पास. फ्लोटिंग एक्शन बटन जल्दी से डाल देते हैं. फ्लोटिंग एक्शन बटन, अभी इसको प्रेस करके हमें नल करना है. अभी हमें इसकी फंक्शनैलिटी नहीं डालनी है, हमें सिर्फ एक यूआई बना रहे हैं. सो इसमें भी सेम हम बैकग्राउंड कलर देंगे, बैकग्राउंड कलर, और कलर इसमें पास करते हुए एंड एडिंग, इसमें प्रीफिक्स हम डाल देते हैं फटाफट से, जो कॉपी, सॉरी, ओके, मुझे इसको फिर से कॉपी करना पड़ेगा. बार जॉन सीना सब सामने आ जाते हैं हमारे. ओके, ये हमने हैश कोड लिया, ये हमने यहाँ डाला, ग्रीन कलर आ गया. ओके, या वी कैन सी द फ्लोटिंग एक्शन बटन राइट. नाउ एडिंग द चाइल्ड. In this again we have to add an icon. So icons dot. In this we have a camera which is of the photo camera. Let me just fold this. Okay, we have a photo camera. Yeah, photo camera. So again reloading the application, and you can see we have the photo camera. So now we have the photo of the photo that we chosen from the internet, and the name, the title, the my status, and add status, right? So let's just change this to tag to add status. Okay, so now we have added our photo. So our status looks like this, and now quickly add another. Now let's add the statuses that you get from your friends and family. So for that, in the list view only, let's add a container that okay, so here you can see we have recent updates written here. So we will just write this. So we will give this a width of media query according to your phone dot of dot size dot width. so it will have the width of a phone. And let's just give this a height of 20, and we will have a child which will have a text of recent updates. Okay, and let's just quickly style this in the text style, and let's have the color to be colors dot gray. Let's have a gray color. Cool. And let's have the background color of this container to be a lighter gray. You can see the UI in the WhatsApp application you have in your phone, and let's just add color to this color. Again, the color is dot gray. This will, that's 300. Yeah. You can see it is lighter than the gray. Cool. Let's just quickly run this. We can see the updates. Let's make it more lighter so that we can see the recent updates move here. Okay, cool. That looks a little okay. And give this a padding. Now let's just give this a padding to the left. Padding, or not all, left or only, and this is left. So reloading this again, and just increase the value to 20. This looks good. And now similarly, the chat section, we can add these list styles. So let's just create a custom list style widget that it's called according to the list. So or we can since we need to create only the UI, so let's just copy paste this. Okay. So we have this container in the list view. We need to add this here. Cool. So copy paste 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Now let's just see what it shows. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now you can just change the name according to what you like. This is not the best code you can type, I know, but with this you can create the UI. And of course, if you want to, there is nothing called like finishing an application up to the end. There is always some updation, some changes that never ends, right? So similarly, you can you can use your imagination, and I know you may do better than me. So keep exploring. And like this, you just name it anything like Jane and whatever you want, and just reload this, and you can see the names are changed. The pics, you can just enter the network image, or you can use the asset image here, and the image will change here, and everything according to you, right? So this is the status. You can build like this. This is quite similar to the WhatsApp status application. So this is quite similar to the status section of the WhatsApp application you have. And now let's just do the chat. Let's just do the call section as well. So let's just see first. First we similarly let's just create a chat class also. So going to the bottom of this class, yeah, let's just create a class, call it calls, extends stateful widget, then we will create, okay, so call state, create state, and here calls state, okay, again calls state extends this returns a widget, And now let's just see how the calls look like. Okay, so let me just quickly search for you. Quickly see how the call look. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to find some images for that. You can refer to the call section. I'm referring that with my WhatsApp application. So sorry for the inconvenience, but yeah, I will try not to waste your time here. So I will just look at my WhatsApp application and build from that. You can refer the same from your application. So again, it returns in list type. So we will just call the list view. In this we will have the list style. Let's just copy paste this. Copy. And yeah. Okay. Again the children. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So here we have the name of that person. So here comes just the name. I will just write the name. Let's name it okay. And here the timestamp, right? Let's just call it today 1:25 p.m. Cool. So this is it. And one more thing, we have a trailer icon, so we will just add a training, and in this we have an icon. So this is the icon if the person has just voice called you, so it will just show you the call icon, and if he or she has video called you, then this icon will be of video chat. So you can use any of them. I will just use here phone Android. You can choose anything and just color it to the green. The green will be of the app bar, that dark green that I have told you. So I will just take the color from it, right? I'll just use that color and going back to the call section. Yeah, here we are. So now let's just reload this and see how our calls look. Okay, one more thing, sorry, my bad. I have to replace this with the calls. Done. Now let's just reload this. Yeah, you can see, we don't have that phone icon, so this is the problem sometimes. So you can use just the phone, maybe. Yeah, now that's a similar icon that you can see on your WhatsApp application as well. So you can see we have a similar layout, and for more detailing you can add here the arrow, the missed call icon, or anything else. So if you want me to do this, okay, I will just quickly add that in the subtitle. Let's just wrap it in a row, and in the first let's just use the icon widget and icons dot arrow. Okay, yes, it is not working right now. Okay, arrow downward here, and we need to color this into it so that we can just know that the person that called us gave us a missed call. Yeah, you can see the icon here, the downward arrow. It is in the real application it is slightly at some angle, So if we can just find that, arrow, let's just see this one. No, let that be this icon. You can for one tip, you can find such icons at the Flutter icons. Flutter. You can find any type of icon here. This is a very you can say vast library of icons for Flutter. So just find your suitable icon. Yeah, we want this similar icon. Yeah, we want this icon, right? So you have to just click on this and download this icon. Here you have the download button, and you can download this icon and use it in your application. For the time being, I am just telling you this, and you can just do it. So yeah, we have done the call section similarly, copying the list style. Copy. I would love to see you. I would love to see everyone doing the optimization of code because again, yeah, you can do the optimization by yourself, and I'll be very glad if you do that. So I'm just telling you how to create the UI of WhatsApp, and now it is quite looking good. I have just told you that I have used the phone icon. You can use the video icon as well. So here is the phone icon. Let's just use the video call. Let's see how the icon looks. Yeah, that looks great. अब जहाँ तक हमारा बन चुका है, अब आप देख सकते हैं कि काफ़ी अच्छा हमारा UI दिख रहा है WhatsApp की तरह ही, जिसमें हमारा स्टेटस भी कंप्लीट हो चुका है, चैट्स भी कंप्लीट हो चुके हैं, स्टेटस हो चुका है, कॉल्स हो चुके हैं, and everything looks great, right? So scrolling, yeah, cool. Alright, so we have just built our WhatsApp clone application, and it is looking great and quite similar to the WhatsApp that we have on our mobile phone. I know a lot of work still need to be done, so for that I am just dropping down the link to this Git profile.